So you probably heard the poem or the spoken word or whatever you want to call it, that the members of our congregation started off with this morning. And where's Keela at? Keela started off. So Keela, one more time, stand up and give them the opening line for yours, or your part. Yeah.
I had it memorized in the moment.
That's all right. You only have like probably 4 shows going on right now, so.
Without equivocation or hesitation, I fully and completely admit that I deny the resurrection of Christ.
Thank you. Give Keela a hand. Will you do that for us? Speaking of Keela and Asher and like 8 other amazing young adults performed their improv show yesterday over in our learning center. So it was so good. You guys did amazing. I'm a little biased. You 2 are the best. The rest of them are great, but you 2 are the best. And we are so proud of you. It was so good. We started off, and I'm guessing that was the first time you've ever been to an Easter service where somebody stood up and said, I deny the resurrection. And we wanted to do that. We wanted to start that way because we wanted to get everyone in this room thinking, like, where are they coming from? I thought that we believe in the resurrection. And how many of you know that faith without works is what? Dead. It's dead. We can believe something, but if we don't put action behind it, then that faith or that belief is just simply dead. It's useless. It's not, you might as well not even profess it if we're not going to back it up with the way that we conduct ourselves and the way that we treat one another. Lovingly, kindly. Come on. That was a perfectly timed siren. Right on cue. Thank you. And so we want to start off by asking ourselves, if we believe in the resurrection, at what times are we finding ourselves denying the very resurrection with the actions that we take and the way we treat one another? And so I've got a couple things down here that we've extracted from that little spoken word. But, when tradition asks us to joyfully proclaim, he is risen. We didn't play that video this year. We didn't do the what is it? That's My King video. We've done that in the past. We didn't start off with the big, powerful, produced video up here. No, we wanted you all, through this spoken word, to talk about what it would look like to both either deny or affirm the resurrection with our life. Because that is the question at hand. It's not whether or not we believe that there was a man one day who died and then 3 days later was resurrected. That's not why we're here today. We're not here to just proclaim he is risen. There's more to it than just what we profess or what we believe. Hi, Steve. I have to say hi because I love you and I probably will miss you after this. I love you so much. Steve is going around the world, bridging the gap between the Mormon community and the evangelical community, an incredible podcast. And he just did a great interview and has got some more coming up. So thank you for what you're doing, Steve, out there. We really appreciate it. You're a great guy. But denying the resurrection looks maybe like this. When we walk past those that are unhoused or indifferent to their pain, we deny the resurrection. When we remain silent, I'll say that again. Oh, you thought you were going to be comfortable this Easter? When we remain silent about racism, homophobia, sexism, inequality, we deny the transformative power of the resurrection. Come on. Every system that we quietly uphold that exploits and oppresses people, every unjust policy that we ignore, every moment we choose comfort over compassion, we deny the resurrection. I like comfort. I like safety, although my mom thinks I don't, because she says she was convinced for at least half of my life I was trying to figure out a way to kill myself, not on purpose, okay? Jumping off of things and doing anything that was risky. It usually started off with me saying, watch this. And then after a while, the family got wise, and when I said, watch this, they all just lunged towards me to pin me to the ground and make sure I didn't do anything. That's not much overinflated there. But when I think about what actually led to the death of Jesus, and I just want to go there for a second, and I'm just going to say it, and if it means something to you, great. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, that's fine too, because I'm not going to get specific. But I'm going to say this: what led to the death of Jesus was the combination, are you ready? Of a tyrannical government agreeing and partnering with the religious elite. When throughout human history, tyrannical governments partner with the religious elite, it always goes wrong. I don't know why, I don't know how. Maybe it's because the scripture says that my kingdom, Jesus said, my kingdom is not of this world. When you try to contain my kingdom in a kingdom of this world, it's always going to go wrong. Because when we mix power and money and influence and control with religion, it always goes bad. And what took Jesus to the cross, well, of course, the Father gave up his only begotten Son. I get all of that. But what actually here on earth manifested to dragging Jesus to the cross, and of course he was willing to, and he could have called out at any moment and had a million angels save him. I know all that. But what brought him to his death was when a tyrannical government agreed and partnered to gain more power and influence, to control more mountains. Anybody uncomfortable? And that always goes wrong, because the church and the gospel is not for sale to a political party or government. It can never be contained in a world system. It is a system not of this world. Come on, church, you got to get with me this morning. Don't worry, the doors are locked. We're good, okay? But when we affirm the resurrection, I know my battery's low. I didn't charge it. Thank you for telling me that, Mac. We appreciate it. When we affirm the resurrection, it's not just we don't just look at it as a historical event and say, yeah, we think it happened. But it's an invitation to revolutionary living. If it doesn't revolutionize the way we live, then we're not affirming the resurrection. And oftentimes when we're not affirming it, we're denying it. We affirm the resurrection when we advocate for those who have been silenced by power. Can I say that again? We affirm the resurrection when we advocate for those that have been silenced by power. We affirm the resurrection when we feed the hungry, when we house those that don't have a home, when we stand alongside the marginalized, when we look out for our brothers and sisters and siblings, when we refuse to let people go it alone, when we say that's not safe for me, so I'm not going to enter into it, when we forego comfort and lean into compassion and advocacy and standing in the gap for people. That's when we affirm the resurrection. Come on, church. You may be new here this morning, and I'm glad you're here, but I want you to know, here at Harvest, we believe that the county and the city and the community and the state is better because we're in it and needs to be better. And the only way it's going to be better is if we continue to raise our voice and put our money where our mouth is and our time and our resources to make as much of a difference as we can. And I am so stinking proud of the diversity that's on the stage and represented in this congregation. We don't run away from diversity, we embrace it. Come on. Do you hear me? And it's not just the LGBTQ community, it's people of color, it's people of other abilities, it's people of other races. It's everything under the sun. It's even people of different faiths and different traditions. That is the most important part of what we are. Anybody ever have food with way too much salt? I'm just saying, you folks that are a couple shades darker than me, we need you. Too much salt is no good, okay? We need a little bit of spice around here. We need people, I know it's making you uncomfortable, isn't it? It's the truth. White people, you're boring. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, as they used to say in high school, yeah, boring, all right? It is. It is what it is. It's true. We need it. We need everybody. And straight people, you're boring sometimes too. Frankly put, when we started just like throwing open the doors loud and proud and welcome everybody in, our decor game during Christmas went up so many notches I can't even tell you. Year one of our wonderful friends here brought in like 150 poinsettias on their own dime because they said, quote unquote, this place looks terrible. And then Rodney and Dave stepped up, specifically Rodney, to adjust quarter of an inch by quarter of an inch, all 150 of those poinsettias. So they were perfectly angled and then would change angles in the room to make sure it was good from all angles. Do you understand? We need that. Come on. Otherwise it'd be like steel and wood. That's if Erin had her way. Some of y'all are gonna get this, I promise. We affirm the resurrection. Every voice raised up against injustice, every act of solidarity, every moment of radical love affirms the resurrection's ongoing reality. It looks like that. And there's no better picture of it for me this year than looking at the life of Mary Magdalene. And we're gonna just end there. I'm gonna tell you about that and we're gonna get the band back on stage. But Mary Magdalene embodies faithful witness and radical resurrection living in this story. Mary Magdalene hangs out and is a witness to the crucifixion, and she does not leave. When the disciples leave and they're scared and they're scattered because they're worried that they're gonna be next, Mary Magdalene stays. We see it in the story at the crucifixion. She's there courageously. She remains near Jesus. She's present in his suffering when others fled. Do you hear what I'm saying? She stayed there in the midst of somebody else's suffering when other people were scared. When other people ran, Mary Magdalene said, you know what, if it happens to me, I don't care, but I'm not going to sit here and let this man who has done everything that he could to spread something good die here alone. And Joseph of Arimathea talks to Pilate and gets his body, and Mary participates in the burial and preparation of the body, and then she stands watch near the tomb. And I gotta say this, men, I love you, but we were scared. We had holed ourselves up in some undisclosed location. We were in voluntary witness protection. The doors were locked and bolted while the women stood out there tending and watching the tomb, even unto death, making sure that they stood there in solidarity. It's a powerful thing that gets overlooked here. And I actually looked at it. It's in, I'm gonna do this quick. In John 19, verse 25, it says, now beside the cross of Jesus stood his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene. So when Jesus saw his mother, disciple who he loved, standing there nearby, he said to his mother, woman, behold your son. He said to his disciples, behold your mother. And from that hour, the disciple took her into his own household. And if you go to the next chapter, in chapter 20 of John, in verse 10, it says, so the disciples went away again to their own homes. But Mary was still standing outside the tomb, weeping. So as she wept, she stopped to look into the tomb. She saw two angels in white sitting, one at the head and one at the feet, where the body of Jesus had been lying. And they said to her, woman, why are you weeping? She said to them, because they have taken away my Lord, and I don't know where they put him. When she had said this, she turned around. She saw Jesus standing there, but she didn't know who he was. So Jesus said to her, woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you seeking? Thinking that he was the gardener. He must have looked rough. She said to him, sir, if you've carried him away, tell me where you put him. I'll take him away. What did she have to earn to care that much about the body of Jesus? We can't find ourselves in a situation where we're willing to give up any part of our society and just say, well, they're a lost cause. it doesn't seem like there's any chance. And I'm gonna protect myself. Jesus said to her, Mary. She turned and she said to him in Hebrew, Rabboni, which means teacher or rabbi. Jesus said to her, stop clinging to me, for I have not ascended to the Father, but go to my brothers and say to them, I'm ascending to my Father and my God and your God. So Mary Magdalene came and announced to the disciples, I have seen the Lord, and that he has said these things to her. And I want to tell you this right now, culturally at the time, and oftentimes it still happens today, the disciples, all male, did not listen to Mary's recollection. They didn't believe her. And I'm telling you right now, if we are looking for the perfect messenger to deliver our message, we're going to miss out on opportunities where there are people out there that get overlooked, that have something to say and communicate that could be the most important thing we ever hear, like he is risen. Come on, do you hear me today? And Mary here in this moment, says, she goes back to the disciples and she's like, hey guys, something happened, he's alive, he's risen. And the disciples don't believe him, don't believe her. And so what does Jesus have to do? He has to transcend through the walls of their locked door to wake the disciples up and say, hey. And then Thomas, who's not there, as we know the story, he's got to have full-on proof. Like, let me see the nails in your hand. And these guys are freaked out. But Mary, who tended the body of Jesus, who looked after him even unto death, who stood in advocacy and solidarity and refused to run when she probably should have, was able to receive the good news. The greatest gift and message of hope the world has ever seen was delivered to a woman who refused to quit, who refused to give up, who refused to run away. Come on, church, we've got to refuse to quit or be silent or run away. Come on. Some people have been worried lately that I've not been doing this, so I'm going to give you one of those. Come on, okay? They said, is it Hulk Hogan or Randy Savage? I don't know, I'm old. Okay, so I looked at this, check this out. Mary Magdalene, her name in various ancient languages looked like Magdala, Migdal, and it actually means tower. Specifically, she was named after her hometown, which was Migdal Eder, which became Magdalene for us. And Migdal Eder means watchtower of the flock. Do we have any Mary Magdalenes out there that are going to keep watch high up in the tower over the flock no matter what it takes? Come on, do we have anyone out there who's going to stand up and raise their voice and make sure that the flock is okay? Come on. I love this. It's like, I read this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So Mary literally was the one who would watch over the flock, the group of followers of Jesus' teaching after even the Messiah's ascension. She was still hosting things that allowed her to be the one that was watching over to make sure that nobody was left out, that nobody was overlooked, because she knew what it was like to be overlooked. Do we have anyone in here that's ever been overlooked? Come on. Knows what it felt like, refused to let other people experience it. Mary's example, I think, calls us to persistently show up for the suffering, even when hope seems lost. And I want this to be imprinted into your mind. Her life affirms that resurrection begins in unwavering solidarity and compassion. If we lose that, we've lost it all. If we don't stand up for one another, for our neighbors, those that maybe think like different than us, believe different than us, look different than us, if we don't stand in solidarity and with compassion, we're missing the point, at least part of it, of the resurrection. I'm going to end because I promised you I would. Also, my mouth is dry. Oh, Now, okay, thank you so much. I always feel really awkward drinking in front of all you guys. Will you stand with me and the band can come forward? May we ask ourselves honestly this question: will we deny or affirm the resurrection? Tomorrow, next week, next year? We prove that what we believe is truly what we believe when hard moments come and we stand firm. When uncomfortable things happen and we refuse to run. May we stand boldly with the oppressed. May we speak courageously for the voiceless. May we serve tirelessly to those who suffer. Because that's the gospel and that is the resurrection. You can't miss it. If you read the story from the moment they took Jesus into custody, he's worried about the thief and worried about his mother and worried about everyone else but himself. We see this ring true over and over and over again. And then after his death, the way that those who had been overlooked tended to his suffering in his body and solidarity when others were scared and running. We affirm the resurrection that way. It doesn't mean that we're going to have moments where we miss it. But we affirm the resurrection by standing in solidarity, firm with compassion, and looking out for those that have been taken advantage of, but discriminated against, harmed, and using by any means necessary, legally, to make space and room for their voice to be heard and for them to not feel alone. We are in uncomfortable times, and it's getting worse, and it has been for a long time. We are in uncomfortable times, but uncomfortable times create pressure, and the pressure has a way of creating those diamonds that last generation after generation, stories and legacies of people who refused to fold, like Mary Magdalene. He is risen, that's true, but are we living that way? Do we believe that death has been defeated? Do we believe that death no longer has a grip on us? Because if we do, we will stand firm knowing that the story has been written and the victory has been won, and we are now the ones that carry that banner of victory and promise to every person and human being around us. Amen, church? Yeah. All right, let's do it. It's going to take me a second because I'm putting on a different instrument.